Hello, my little weirdos. Um, I'm trying not to laugh because the whole Signalgate, it was so stupid, but it was so serious. I mean, honestly, that that was just horrendously incompetent and dangerous. It thank God it wasn't. It was in the hands of a responsible third party who didn't divulge it to the public, and actually endanger those military personnel involved. But had it not, it was very serious. And the Republicans keep trying to gloss over it. But I want you to listen to this from CNN.
Behind the scenes, I'm told that President Donald Trump has been fuming about this entire fiasco. In multiple conversations yesterday, I'm told that President Donald Trump specifically said he was frustrated with Michael Waltz, his national security advisor, for inadvertently adding that Atlantic reporter to the Signal group chat. And Trump has also been upset with the media coverage and how this has now become a multi-day controversy for the White House.
So yeah, Trump is panicked.
Yeah. So they're trying, as you've seen, they try to gloss over it. Donald tries to minimalize, but it's not working. Keep the pressure up on them. What is it, Raspy? Keep the pressure on them about it. Keep reminding them about it. Keep mentioning it. Because it's pissing them off. It's working because they know they're not going to be able to just blow shit by us, that we're watching and we're observing and we know what the hell you're doing. Keep on him. Keep on him like an annoying partner who won't shut up. Keep on them because they know no matter what they say, he knows it was a huge, huge, huge fuck up. And it really could have entailed some serious repercussions and consequences. Thank God it was a third party that was intelligent enough to just shut up and not pass that on. In the wrong way, you know. They're squirming. So the more desperate they keep trying to cover something up or brush it off. Same thing with the Greenland visit. 4 hours. How many millions did that cost? Because they brought some equipment or something to show them what they could have. Here's the little carrot, see? But see, what the Republicans don't understand, what Donald and Elon do not understand, everybody is not impressed. Not everybody is impressed by massive wealth. Not everybody falls to their knees just because somebody has power or just because somebody has mega millions. Some of us don't give a flying rat's ass what you have, what you own. If you're a prick, we're going to tell you you're a prick. Some of us can't be compromised and will never be compromised by offers of fame or power or riches, possessions. Some of us don't give a flying fuck about that shit as much as we care about reliability, sensibility, humanity, compassion, empathy. Something Elon says is a wasted thing that he doesn't understand. Just because you don't comprehend empathy doesn't mean it's not a legitimate human emotion. Just because you don't have a vagina doesn't mean everybody else that has one is worthless. It's the same analogy. Just because you don't experience that or people don't do that to you doesn't mean everybody will do that. And that is where excessively wealthy people start to F up. They start forgetting. They start losing that in touch with reality crap, which is what sends people over to a country, costing people that are paying for that trip millions of dollars for you to spend 4 hours there in matching coats and come round and turn back home. What the fuck was that? They told you don't come. They told you they do not want you there. Nobody wanted to host Usha in their home to talk to her. Nobody wanted her coming to their door to speak to them. Nobody in the entire effing country could be found, high or low, looking for somebody in the snow who wants to talk to him or her. Because they know how off-putting he is. So they're shoving her in front of the camera now. Pushing Usha after they just pretty much dissed foreign people, and specifically somebody who thinks all Indian people should be murdered. But no, because they know how off-putting Vance is, and they know they're not going to accept Donald, they push Usha on them. And like an idiot, she goes along with it. Man, my divorce papers would have been in the fucking courts the next day after the election. I swear, if that woman, she deserves all the abuse she gets because she takes it. And in this day and age, staying there together for the children is bullshit. We all know it. It does the children, it does us more harm as children than good to see parents staying together but hating each other or resenting each other. That is not the wiser choice in situations like that. Pushing Usha out there is just disgusting. And the fact that she willingly did it tells me all I need to know about her allegiance and her values and morals too. Do everything he says, just like he embarrassed her and humiliated her on stage by saying she has to stand back there and smile. No, she doesn't. She could have fucking right then and there said, I have to? I don't have to. And walk the fuck off. That's what she should have done. If she had any kind of steeliness in her spine, any kind of pride in herself, as a human, as a woman, as an Indian citizen, you know, that's bullshit for her to act like it's fine for him to say that shit. Absolutely. I mean, bereft of any kind of humanity, these people. Seriously, Republicans, man. Y'all are synonymous with Nazis, really, now. You like that? Is that something that you're proud of? Because the big mouths in your party, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, seem to be very proud of being the lawless, bigoted, hateful party. I don't recall America becoming as great as she had been by embracing narrow-mindedness and hatred and venom to everybody that doesn't look and act and believe like you do. I don't recall America becoming great like she had been once on those premises. I remember she started becoming really great when we stopped targeting people of color or people that have different gender perspectives or sexual perspectives, as long as they weren't hurting anybody else. Um, I think that's when we started embracing differences, that we really became great and strong. I believe that's when that started happening. And every time, now let's see, like Blue's Clues, can we put this together? Every time America starts acting like a uppity bitch, she starts being hated on the planet and targeted for being kept away from other people. And yet, when America is in the phase of accepting and embracing all sorts, as long as they weren't bringing harm or death to some other people, they weren't harming others, let's just embrace them. Come on, let's all mix together and make an American culture, which is a combination of all cultures and a couple things of our own. When America did that, we seemed to thrive, didn't we? I wonder what we can take as a lesson from this. Let's think. Was there any other time in history of this planet that we're aware of that were in times similar to this, with all this unjust hate and class oh yes, wasn't that it? Was it the 1930s, 1940s, and like Europe, like Nazi Germany maybe? Wake the fuck up. Those of you who have not realized, if you're the Republican Party, y'all better start realizing very quickly that the Republican Party is evil. It's become not a political party. It has become a social party now. It's not just on politics. It's making judgments and decisions, since they have the power now, that have nothing to do with politics per se. It's lifestyle, it's social. Things like abortion, that's a religious discussion. It doesn't hurt the woman, and if it's a certain point, the embryo is not even a self-sustaining creature. But no, we have to drag that in to politics. We have to drag in skin color into politics again. We all saw what doing that created. A divided country. And yet Republicans just want to drag us right the fuck back there. This is what Kamala meant by we're not going back. We're not going back to the slavery. We're not going back to women subjugated. We're not going back to anybody who isn't white, just is in the background. It's a sidekick. We're not going back to that. They're trying to drag us back now, just like Kamala warned us. Just like all of us were trying to warn you. They're trying to do it. Quite a few of us are kicking and screaming. The rest of you, you need to start kicking and fucking screaming too. And I'll tell you, April 5th is coming up. April 5th is like another President's Day. 50 capitals. Every fucking state capital is going to have protesters. Washington, D.C. at the mall, going to be filled with protesters. Protesters from the 50501 movement. Every state chapter. The Indivisible org. Every state chapter. New York City is going to see some, I'll bet you. Every state capital, even if you don't go to one of the big ones, and if you can't get to the state capital, some people in your town get together. Go to your town hall and do it. Stand outside there. I want to do it. I want to get there. There's one not too far from me, but I do need a transportation, and I'm working on that because I want to go. And they're only a few hours. Most of them are only a few hours. You say I don't have time for that. Do you have time for when we're not allowed to do that anymore, if it gets to that point? Because you should be doing it while you have the chance to. Because if enough of you do not do it and protest publicly, there's going to come a time when you have the time, but now you're not allowed to. Start speaking up. If you can't get to a protest, make signs for protesters. Make videos like I do. Getting other people galvanized. Make graphic, just write some things. What you think of, post them. Do something. Do something. And you know what? It'll make you feel better that you fucking said something. I finally said something. I get some of you can't, because of your jobs, your positions. I understand that, but there's always some way that you can do it and not be in trouble. Just do it. We need all of us, as many as can be. April 5th. Mark the calendar. These will continue. I won't be surprised if it's still going on in July. That July 4th is transformed into protest day. Unfortunately, if it goes that far into July, that's something I'm going to be speaking up about and suggesting to some of these groups. Instead of doing fireworks and such, do protests. Will be the fireworks. Anyway, do not stay silent. And do not decide to speak up publicly when it's too late. If you keep putting it off, and too many of you keep putting it off, I'll do it next weekend, I'll do it next week. You can't do it on weekends, you work on the weekends, get a bunch of your people, some people together that also it's a work day that they have off, and protest then. One person is a protest. If I had a vehicle, oh damn, you guarantee I'd be sitting on my walker on the corner for an hour or two every damn day with my sign. Oh, I would. If I had a vehicle, if I had a way to get someplace, I absolutely would. Right now, where it is just walking all the way from my complex, all the way out of it into just down to a street that has no traffic on. It would take me about 45 minutes just to walk there. Because I have a fucked up foot. So it's difficult for me to do that shit. Let alone get to a protest. People are leery about people they don't know. Just in their vehicle, you know? I get it. So I do what I can do right now until I can find somebody locally that goes to protests and gets to know me and says, yeah, you want to go this time? Sure, I'll go. What time are we getting back? You know what I'm saying? Until that time, I've been doing videos, and I've been doing videos and graphics for years. Like before the midterms, 2 years ago. Um, 2.5 years ago. Um, I was making them way before then. I've been making them 3 years probably easily. After I lost one of my twin sons, I think throwing myself into politics fully definitely helped because I was having a really hard time that first year. I don't remember a lot of it. I probably made videos that I don't even remember making. And I've seen some of my graphics from 4 years ago, and I'm like, oh wow, I don't even remember making that one. Probably because I was in just such a grief state, that I didn't remember. But it helped get some of that out into an appropriate place, directed at an appropriate target. So I still I still fight tearing up talking about him. So since I couldn't do other stuff, I did something until then, until I could figure out. Now it's gotten so bad that there's protest groups all over the place, which is good as far for me as far as and other people like me that don't have transportation. We have more of a chance of maybe being able to get to someplace, but at the same time it sucks because if it wasn't so bad we wouldn't have so many protest groups popping up. So it's a good and a bad thing. It's like a double-edged sword, kind of. Um, but if I had waited to speak up publicly until I had been able to find a way to get to meetings or whatever, protests or gatherings, because it was at that point it was just a much smaller scale. It was just protesting minimum wage not being raised or something. Oh, those were the days with the simple problems. Um, Trying to get myself out of this grief thing going through. Um, active live watching somebody get past that hurdle. Ooh, riveting television. But my point is, if I had waited until I could find somebody, I wouldn't have been doing anything for the last 2.5 years. I wouldn't have been doing anything. Yeah, great. We wouldn't have had all these videos. You should have done nothing. All right, enough. Um, and I'm glad that I did it. I trust me, getting in front of this stupid camera, even with nobody else around. That was hard. The first dozen or so, and then watching it before that was even harder. And actually putting it into upload. In every step. And then once it was uploaded, like not deleting it and leaving it up. Afraid of the responses I'm gonna get. But I did it. And so I'm not just somebody talking out my butt. And you don't know. Yeah, I do know. I might seem extroverted, but I can be very introverted at times. I'm an introverted extrovert or extroverted introvert. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, there are times that I don't say an effing word the entire time. I'm just like, I don't know the place, I don't know the people. I'm just going to observe and just make my assessment, what my assessments are, kind of, and not engage too much. Yeah. Actually, I can be very much that way. Unless I feel completely comfortable. Because I know I can be a little much to take. So I know I can be intense. So I'm aware of that at least. Which is more than Republicans, people that tend towards the conservative, they're not very introspective. They just spout their religious rhetoric like that gives them authority. All it does is give them maybe authority in their religion. It doesn't give you authority. And that's something I think evangelicals and zealots and uber Christian people, they forget that a lot. Actions speak louder than words, and you don't practice what you preach. So enjoy your weekend, and please, 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 please consider April 5th. Where, Judy? Every fucking place on April 5th. Do you know of a Tesla dealership? Go there. They'll be protesting. You know where your state capital is? Go there. They'll be protesting. You know where your town hall is? There might be some protesters there. And if not, then you can protest there. But I'm going to get some poster board and, to make some signs just to have them in case somebody at the last minute sees a post and says, there's that protest in 2 days. Do you want me to come pick you up and take you home? Yeah, I don't know who you are. But I'd be ready. Make a protest sign and put it on your front door. Everybody who comes past your door or to your door will see that. That's speaking out publicly. Hang it off your balcony. Get a big poster board and make your sign and hang it on, put it in some clear plastic for rain or something and just staple it up on your balcony. On your railing, on your wood railings, if you got wood railings. That's speaking out publicly. If you can't get in front of a camera, if you just can't even make a little graphic writing or something. I just use the free 3D paint, I think it is, that came with the computer. That's what I make my graphics on. And just the Photos app. If you can't do all that, you can get a piece of poster board and write some protest thing or some thought in protest. You can do that. Anybody can do that. Even in an apartment, you can put it on your door. There is always something. And this fight against the government, I said it on a video earlier this morning, needs to be the white folks, because they're looking for the non-white folks, and they're looking for the LGBTQ plus folks. They're looking for them to harass them and find an excuse or make an excuse up to detain them, to arrest them. We can't let them to continue running that scam con on our folks of color. So right now, we are the ones saying, leave them the fuck alone. They're not yours to fuck with. We are the bodies right now. Us white folk are the people that need to keep our fellow citizens of color and of different gender choices safe. And even if they want to protest, we need to make sure they have their backs covered when they're protesting with us. keep aware. If you're with people in protesting that are of color, especially if it's a larger demonstration, keep your eyes open for people like ICE or government, that are just all in black with head covers and things like that. Be suspicious. Keep an eye. Make sure they aren't looking at the non-white folks or the ones that are holding the the LGBTQ stuff. Keep an eye on them, even if they are out there with us protesting. And if they're not, do not give them shit about it. Because right now, we need to protect them. Remember that. We are all American citizens, and we are responsible for each other. Remember that. That is what makes a country great. It is the people within it and their attitudes that makes a country what it is. Remember that. They don't owe us anything, but we owe our brothers and sisters of color a lot of compensation for the past, because that might not have been done even to them personally, but it all generationally led to where they are and where they can't get out of. Just like people like me that had low income growing up. It's very difficult to get out of that unless you marry somebody who's not in the low income. It is very difficult to break out of that class. They just have the rules that seem to be, it can be to so far, you can get so far, and then after that it's sheer force of will, literally, to get past the gaps they make obvious to deter. We need to start acting like their fellow Americans. And if they're out there with us raising their voices too, we definitely need to watch their six. I don't know how else to say it without getting angry, without raising my voice. I just don't want to do that this morning. So I'm asking you to sincerely do some self-reflection and comprehend, understand what I'm saying. They're going to go out there and protest. Some of them will. And if they do, we especially need to watch their backs. Okay? And the government is not looking like the government right now. They're going to look like just anybody else. And they're just walking up, just one or two now. You saw how they apprehended that one university girl. They waited, they just came from different, and they weren't running. They just casually, not just, and before you knew it, she was like, no, and then just, they're not playing fairly. And the ones they're really looking at right now, they're looking past all of us white faces, and they're looking right at the different non-white faces. That's who they're looking at. Regardless if they were born here or not, they don't fucking care. So we need to keep an eye on. And even if you're not in a protest, just out in general, please start being aware, self-aware of what's going on. Because if they don't have a warrant signed by a judge, if it's just a United States of America Department, warrant, That's not a legal warrant. That's not legal. It has to be signed with a current sitting judge. It has to be signed. If it isn't, you do not have to comply with them. And us white folks need to be looking out for the non-white folks right now. No matter where you are. If you're out in public, please, please have the six. Watch the backs for others so they don't get yanked off the street in broad daylight by a bunch of anonymous, no way to identify, unidentifying goons. And it's something I didn't think I would have to ever warn about as a nationwide issue in America. This isn't America. This is Miraca. You know how them damn people, that faux pride, this is America! They don't even bother saying America. They gotta shorten everything. This is America. Yeah. Right now, this is America. It is definitely not America. Definitely is America right now. Go out. Enjoy your weekend. Think hard about April 5th. Tell you what. If you live nearby any of those places, you don't want to protest, you're too self-conscious, go buy a couple cases of bottled water. Hand that out to the protesters if they need it. Make yourself a little, place and where they are, and y'all need some water. Maybe buy a couple big Costco things of fruit snacks. Something like that. Give the protesters some help. Water is a good one. There's a lot of ways that you can help the protesters if you can't be a protester. If you have limited mobility and even a walker isn't, you can do something else. Help those protesting. Help the ones at the capitals or town halls where there isn't. There's going to be some people at the town hall protesting that day. You go over with a little ice chest with some water and maybe a couple bags of apples or something. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Something. And let the protesters know that you appreciate what they're doing and you stand with them. There's a lot of things you can do to support those protesting. If you're not going to or you're not able to do it, you're on oxygen, something like that, it's just too much. It's not too much to sit and offer for free. Just here, if you need some water, take it. You need a bottle? There you go. You've been yelling a lot. You want some water? Something as simple as that. Showing up at the protests, helping them. Concentrating on helping them be loud. How about that? That's what I'm talking about. Get creative. Start thinking. If I was going to go to a protest, what would it encompass? I'd have to this, I'd have to spend for this, I'd have to do this. And then see if there's any of those thises that you can X off it for them. Like I said, like the water or snack stuff. Things that can easily be, like a water bottle can be crushed down and stuck in a bag so you're not, until you get to a trash can or something. Um, mints, things like that, some Tic Tacs because your mouth gets dry yelling, and you don't necessarily always need the water, but you might need something to wet your whistle a little bit, things like that. Those would be totally appreciated by protesters, especially on the smaller protests. Maybe they didn't think about that. They were so busy thinking about the signs and what they're going to wear, and they're getting a chant to get some attention to it, and they might not have thought about, oh, we might need something. You know what I'm saying? So be that angel that swoops in and says, I got you guys. I got you. I can't walk around, but I got you guys. I got my sign right here. I'm sitting here with the water. Take the water as you need it. Guess what? You're protesting. Yeah. There's a lot of ways you can help. So get out there, at least here in Jersey. It is now, what time is it? 9:30. Some of y'all are just getting to work or just got to work. Raspy the cat, sleeping back there, woke me up at dawn again. It was like, oh, it is light. He tried waking me up earlier than that. I looked up and I was like, out the window, I'm like, Raspy, you see it's not even light yet. You know it's still dark outside, buddy. 20 minutes later, he's like, poke, 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 nuzzle, nuzzle. I was like, Raspy, and I opened my eyes, I was like, oh, damn. It isn't dark anymore. It's just starting to, the light was just starting to filter in. He's my alarm clock, I swear. When he's not on Earth anymore, I'm just gonna fucking oversleep all the time. Because I so rely on him to wake me up. And on a morning where he's not feeling well and he doesn't wake me up, I'm like, I get up at 7:30, I'm like, you didn't wake me up? Okay, where's Raspy? Why, what happened? Why isn't he feeling well? Go take your weekend dose of, hopefully, recovery, refreshment, and spend a little of it thinking about the April 5th weekend and what you can do. Maybe just doing during the protests or 2 hours, just do a live stream and just chat about the different policies and different ideas. Maybe just doing that, you guys can talk about maybe getting a new protest idea. There's a lot and then pass that on to the groups like the 50501 movement or the indivisible.org or handsoff.com, I think is another one. The groups that are protesting groups. Do something on April 5th. Another one for those of you that work, 15 minutes late on May Day, May 1st. 15 minutes late to work. If every working American goes in 15 minutes late, it doesn't seem like a lot of work lost in the first 15 minutes of your shift. And it is. 100,000 people is like $250,000 worth of work time or something. We need them to start understanding that the heads of companies and organizations, they might have a high position, but they are not who makes the government run. It is us workers. If us workers were all 15 minutes late to work every day, how much would your business falter? You'd notice it. You'd notice the fall of just that 15 minutes for each person every single day. What is that going to do, Judy? Maybe it'll smack the realization into these bosses' tiny little brains while they're up there posturing as if I made it to the top. You didn't make it alone. And all the people under you are who keep you in that position and keep your company. Because if all of us said F you until you pay us properly, all of us, you would be effed. And it's a way to make them understand that they have an obligation to keep our lives going well, just like our obligation as an employee is to keep their companies doing well. They have an obligation to pay what is worth and give the benefits that is worth to make it where that can be our only job. When I was born, one person in the family had a full-time job, and that would supply everything the family needed. You were able to buy a home for your family and send your kids to college on one full-time job. So the other person is home to do all the other stuff, the maintenance of the house, the maintenance of your area, the maintenance of your children, everything else that goes into life. One partner does, and the other partner does the working and bringing in the income. Nowadays, both adults could be working, and they still apply. They still can, qualify for like food help. Something's wrong, obviously, and it's not the workers. That's what the big people need to fucking learn, or relearn. Some people like Donald and Elon, they never learned that. So in their advanced years, they're going to learn it. No matter what it takes, they will fucking understand. But we need you to get out there. We need you to help. If you're somebody that can be publicly visible and not be a threat easily, you have an obligation to be loud and watch the backs of your fellow countrymen. That's what it means to be part of society. Society has obligations to you, but you have obligations to society. Republicans just like to take everything, and they don't want to give back to anything or anyone that helped keep them where they are. They don't think about that. They just want their meal. They just want their drink. They just want their possession, and they don't give a fuck or think about who put any sweat into that. They just assume it's owed to me because I have this position in society. No human has respect owed to them if they don't respect others. That's the tea.